Greetings, Slackers. It's May 28th, 2016, and I'm over here with the second article that I wanted to read to you this morning. Some strange stuff that's kind of come about this week. This is off of theguardian.com. In Arizona, Sheriff Joe Arpaio fights bestiality with Craigslist stings. Quote, "This is my crusade." Controversial sheriff has released a video boasting of using fake Craigslist ads to catch perpetrators and says crackdown stems from his passion for animal rights. It goes on to state here, and let me not forget that this is by Nikki Wolf. It goes on to state here, sometimes while James Allen Darling delivered packages for his postal company, he would also have sex with dogs. Ugh. Stray dogs, or the dogs of people he delivered to. He also had sex with sheep, horses, and other dogs whose owners he contacted over Craigslist. In exchange, he often let the owners of the animals have sex with his own dog, Wiley. Darling lived in Seattle, Washington, but was tempted down to Phoenix, Arizona by one particular online ad. That's where he ran into Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Arpaio, Donald Trump's favorite sheriff, who was mentioned in almost all of the Republican candidates' speeches and was one of the first elected officials to endorse Trump in his bid for president, is running a sophisticated sting operation which aims to entrap people like Darling who want to engage in sexual acts with animals. The operation posts fake ads on Craigslist or responds to them and then arresting the alleged perpetrators when they turn up. Yeah, for those of you who like to turn up. In a video posted to his Facebook page on 6th May, Arpaio boasted of the program's 10th arrest, a suspect, quote, who negotiated through the Craigslist to meet an undercover detective in order to have sex with his dog. In the video, he warned of a group of people going around the nation called Zoosexual that has warned everyone to be aware of this sheriff and his crackdown on bestiality laws. In fact, Arpaio told The Guardian over the phone from his office in Phoenix those laws would not exist at all if it wasn't for him. In the early 2000s, he had set up a unit to investigate animal cruelty. And in 2006, they were referred the case of Leroy Johnson, a deputy fire chief with the Mesa Fire Department, who had been reported by a neighbor, a farmer named Alan Goetz, no pun intended, I guess, incidentally, for sneaking into his barn and trying to have sex with one of Goetz's lambs. What the hell are people thinking? Confronted while bent over the animal with his pants down, caught red-handed. According to the police report, Johnson said, "You caught me, Alan. I tried to fuck your sheep." What the fuck? Johnson was charged under public indecency statutes, but the cases inspired Arpaio to go to the legislature and demand that bestiality be made against the law. Quote, "This is one of my crusades," he said. Such is the power that Arpaio wields. As a nationally recognized and controversial figure who has been the focus of media attention for racial profiling, his hardline stance on illegal immigration, and his continued insistence that Barack Obama's birth certificate is a forgery, and who styles himself America's toughest sheriff, that the state legislature passed an anti-bestiality statute the same year. Since then, his officers have been digitally lying in wait for people like Darling, or like Michael Crawford, a Pennsylvania man who was convicted in January after arranging with undercover detectives to have sexual intercourse with a horse. Arpaio boasted that all of his arrests under the bestiality law he demanded have so far ended in convictions. Moreover, Arpaio has been able to turn Arizona's new law into a national crusade. Darling, for example, lived in Seattle and had no connection with Arizona until he fell into Arpaio's online sting operation and got on a plane to Phoenix. Arpaio often quotes studies, which he says link bestiality to sexual abuse, though The Guardian was unable to find the original studies, but the issue of animal welfare clearly runs deeper than that for him. As a young kid, I will go to school. My dog Pepper, who lived to 18 years old, will follow me as I walk to school, wait for me, and then walked back home with me, he said. So how can you say that dogs don't make families happy and people happy? He has converted one of the jails in his jurisdiction into a shelter for animals rescued by his officers. Darlin's dog Wiley is one, but many others come from animal hoarders, abusive owners, or puppy farms. He is also piloting a program which uses the animals as rehabilitative tools for nonviolent inmates and prisoners who are veterans. In some of his jails, he told The Guardian, he allows the inmates only to watch the animal-themed movies Lassie, Come Home, and Old Yeller. I'm an animal rights person, Arpaio said. Someone has to protect the animals. Then he quoted Mahatma Gandhi. You judge the morality of a country by the way they treat their animals. Lots to take away from this, and I have read stories of this before where people were trying to make arrangements with other pet owners on Craigslist to, meet up with them and sleep with their dog or their sheep or whatever. And so, wow, what are people thinking? Bestiality is something that's supposed to be, this very taboo-ish act. But if you go back and you look throughout history, it's definitely something that was practiced in, certain ancient cultures, which you can do the research for yourself to see which ones were practicing these acts. But what do you think? Is Sheriff Arpaio doing a good job? Is he protecting animals? Also, how do you feel about people, making arrangements through Craigslist to meet up with other animal owners and try to arrange, sex acts in exchange for, either a trade or for money, whatever. But go ahead and leave some comments and thoughts down below. The link to this will be in the description box. And that's going to do it for this article. I'll catch you in the next one.